Happy New Year, gang. How's it going? Don't adjust your sets. It is John Rocha back hosting today. Not Kristian Harloff, but we got so much to get into. Justin Baldoni files a lawsuit countering Blake Lively's alleged complaint, but he files a lawsuit against the Times, the New York Times, for their reporting on that massive article that caused him to possibly get dropped by WME. We're going to get into that. We got some box office news to jump into. Bo DeMayo goes off on What If, connected to X-Men 97. What's he got to say about that? Squid Game news. I'm knee deep into Squid Game season 2 right now, so we got a lot to talk about. Me, joined by Winston A. Marshall again today on the Kristian Harloff Show right after this. Happy 2025, everybody. Welcome to the Kristian Harloff Show. I am the Outlaw John Rocha. Excited to be jumping into 2025 after leaving 2024. Seems like it was only yesterday it was 2024. It is now 2025. And why I'm excited to be hosting again. Kristian is home sick, dealing with personal issues there with the family, but he's also working behind the scenes on the show. So you catch him in the chat, occasionally dropping some nuggets of wisdom there as well. But, you know, I can't do this alone, and I've had a really great time the last couple of days hosting the show here. So let's bring him in, the man himself, Winston A. Marshall, the king of swag. How are you, Winston A.?
How did y'all get into my house? what is going on? Happy 2025
Mustard.
Exactly. That's exactly how my brain feels right now. Mustard. That's where I'm at right now.
Listen to Barry White over here. Winston A. White over here.
Maybe that's it. I just need to get sick, and then host a New Year's Eve party every day. I just had that sexy Barry White. You will never find.
What's wrong with you?
I know it is. I don't care. Leave me alone. I'm tired, Rocha. I'm tired.
I just want to all you got in your secret garden. Yeah. So much to jump into. Thanks for joining me, Winston. I know you hosted a big old party last night at your place for New Year's. I guess my invite got lost in the mail, but I hope it was a good one. Target practice. What was that?
It didn't get lost in the mail. It was we had a what was it? It was you. No, yours was lost in the mail. I thought you don't come out of San Diego.
I don't come out. You're right. I don't come out.
You ain't gonna stay up, Rocha. I know your ass. Come on now.
Come on. Now. That was the only reason I stayed up last night.
But no, man, it was good. I'm happy to be in the new year. Look, I'm gonna tell you. Already, 2025 is better than 2024. I got an email that my computer that was supposed to be here on the 7th arrives on the 3rd.
Nice.
So I'll get it on Sunday because it's going to Oregon first, going to my in-laws.
Right.
They got no sales tax. On top of that, my Facebook had gotten banned, man.
I heard you were trying to figure that out.
A homie was like, I know somebody that works there. Give me this info. I'll go find it.
Awesome.
I woke up this morning to like 7 emails being like, your Facebook back, your Facebook back, I said, let's go, Jesus. Yes.
There you go.
Back,
that's right.
We back.
Good stuff, man. Yeah, congratulations. Yeah, you got to reach out to people. I know I stupidly got my Twitter hacked. So Amara Moses helped me out, and a couple other people helped me out from the Showdown crew who had connections. So you just never know who has connections anywhere in the world, and they can help you out. So I'm glad you got that squared away, brother. I know that's an important thing as you're building. So much going on here today, as we mentioned here, a lot of entertainment news going on, some uncomfortable entertainment news, but also some interesting back and forths going on that we're going to talk about here on the show. But listen, it's Winston A. Marshall. It's Wednesday. It's go time. It's 2025. We enjoyed our holiday season and we enjoyed the last 2 shows, but now Winston and I are about the business, about serious stuff today. And one of those things is getting ourselves over 72 super chats. Listen, we were great on Monday, Wednesday. We had 1,100 people joining us live on Monday. We got 72 super chats. I want to get to 75. I want to get to 80 today. I know people are waking up to the world right now, but we're bringing you constant entertainment. We're going to have some fun today. So help us get to 80 super chats by the end of the show. That's the goal today, man. That's what I'm hoping we get to.
I think we can do it.
Yeah.
I think we can do it.
I've even employed Kristian to be down in the chat to egg some of y'all to be doing it. So that's what I'm saying right there. But Let's get into the first story here, Max. Let's get into the uncomfortable story right off the bat here. Justin Baldoni has filed a $250 million lawsuit against the New York Times over the Blake Lively story that they're claiming that it relied on her, quote, self-serving narrative. On June 2nd of 2023, Blake Lively begins a text exchange with her. It ends with us, director and co-star Justin Baldoni. By the way, that film can be seen on Netflix right now. That blamed her assistant for not getting her an updated batch of script pages. This is how the article starts here. She didn't realize they were new. New pages can always be sent to me as well, please. The actress signed the missive with an X, the universal symbol for a kiss. Lively followed up with another text shortly thereafter. I'm just pumping in my trailer if you want to work out our lines. Baldoni responded, copy, eating with crew, and we'll head that way. 18 months later, that interaction was depicted in a New York Times bombshell report in a far more sinister light. The Times wrote, Baldoni repeatedly entered her makeup trailer uninvited while she was undressed, including when she was breastfeeding. The rest of the article goes on to talk about the discrepancies between what the Times article wrote in depicting Blake Lively's narrative about all the stuff she endured on the set, that she claims that she endured on the set, the harassment, the inappropriate behavior, the comments, as was stated in that first paragraph. Apparently, Baldoni and the other producer on the film walking into her trailer uninvited, seeing her in various states of undress and what have you. But they're pushing, and of course, there was supposedly this massive meeting that happened that had a 30 item count list of things that they didn't want, that Blake Lively's people did not want him to do on set anymore. Now they're claiming they never got the list. They never got the document. They outed the publicist for Blake Lively as also the publicist that worked for Harvey Weinstein to counter them, saying, well, your publicist worked for Johnny Depp. So this to me now, because Jeff and I have been talking about this. We had news on this behind the scenes. We'd heard from a film executive and two people who were on the scenes, including someone in the makeup department, that told us what was going on behind the scenes. So we knew some of this stuff ahead of time, but now it's all coming out. And to counter that lawsuit that Baldoni filed, Blake Lively filed a counter lawsuit. So now we're going to get discovery, Winston. And now I think everything's going to come out. But I also think maybe this is going to be settled before we get to a salacious Johnny Depp, Amber Heard trial situation. What are your thoughts on all of this to start our new year, man? This is madness.
Oh, I think it just activated my hangover. It's one of those things where it's obviously a lot of he said, she said. We'll need to see this evidence kind of present one way or the other. I mean, look, if they said they sent a list, then they're going to have some sort of receipt for it. There's no way you have something that specific and that, important. Yeah. And you're just like, oh, and we sent the list and, I just happened to write it on a napkin and hand it to him. Like, that's not the case. I guarantee you if they genuinely wrote a list of things of requests that needed to be fixed, there's an email trail, there's a paper trail, there's certified mail, something you got happened to do that. So it'll be interesting to see one way or the other. Of course, the publicist is the same one as Harvey Weinstein. That's lovely. I get it. Publicists, like lawyers, they have jobs to do, but there is something to be said about if you're taking somebody that's the kind of stuff they're doing, whether it be because he has the publicist for Heard. No.
He used the crisis manager that Johnny Depp used against Amber Heard. Right, exactly. Yeah.
So, I mean, it is one just sloppy mess. I think the one thing that remains true, though, especially until this is over, I genuinely think it's a situation of the way that Blake was immediately crucified was not great. And it speaks something specifically to society that, like, we do this with people in general, but especially to do this to women. And even if Blake has her own set of issues, people were quick to be like, all right. But like, I think in general, I hope in this new year that we stop leaning so into salacious news and we let shit play out first. And then once it's played out, if you want to, hang people in the stacks, metaphorically, go for it. But until then, like, let's literally learn some patience in 2025 and be like, okay, Tell me the full story. Okay, it's going to take a minute for the other person to give their side of the story. Cool. Give me that too. And then once we have all that, then let's make a decision on what's going on. I hope we can do that. We're not going to, but I certainly hope we can.
No. I mean, you can't drive clicks and engagement and all of that way. And I hear you and I understand, but I also want to tack on my own thing for 2025. Let's have some nuance. Okay. Let's have some nuance. Just because you belong to a certain group doesn't mean you're always telling the truth. Just because you belong to a certain section of society doesn't mean you're always telling the truth. We have to work harder to, as Winston said, and I agree with him 100%, to listen and wait for all the information to come out. We can comment on the information as it's coming out, but also with the qualifier that this is from their point of view. This is what they are alleging. This is what they say occurred. Let's hear from the other side to see what their counter is. Because already, if you read, and I read through the lawsuit, some of the lawsuit this morning, they are providing bigger context to those text messages that were snipped out and used by the New York Times that give you much more context on the approach. And look, two publicists talking back and forth about their job. I mean, this is Hollywood. Everyone's not going like, let's hold hands and kumbaya around the tree. There's a lot of money involved here. There's millions involved. These people are just almost like semi-lawyers coming in with their own points of views, planting this story. I think both sides planted stories, in my opinion. That's what I think. I think both sides have their favorable reporters that they work with. And let me wake you up to something else about this business that Jeff and I talk about on the hot mic all the time. A lot of these reporters, a lot of these writers want to maintain their connections with studios or actors or directors or producers so that they can keep getting information. They can keep their six-figure jobs. Penske can keep paying them, and they can keep paying for their houses and living their lifestyles. And so they in cahoots sometimes with these publicists, with these studios, so they can maintain their jobs. And so there's an element of that you have to look at here as well. I think a lot of what Blake Lively laid out was really uncomfortable. And if all of that happened, she has every right to go after every penny Baldoni has, 100%. And if he's that much of an idiot to be talking about supporting women and being part of the Me Too movement and being an ally, and turning around and treating Blake Lively the way she alleges they treated him, or he treated her, and the other male producers treated her, then he absolutely deserves every penny. However, if she fabricated some of this stuff, if she put a different twist on some of the stuff that was happening between them, and when you read through the lawsuit, there is more context to some of these allegations from their side of view, then she needs to be raked over the coals as well for using something like harassment, using something like sexual assault or whatever that was claimed here for her own benefit and pushing back on the losses she was experiencing. So I think this is Hollywood people, Winston, and they're going to fight tooth and nail to save their brands in this situation.
Absolutely. No, yeah. I'm on the same page with you. I guarantee you that's part of what's going on. And me and you have known each other for a long time. That's one of the things that I think pisses me off more than anything is that I am inclined to there's a saying of, believe what believe all. I needed a second. There it is. Charlemagne the God. I go back and forth with him where one day I'm like, oh, I kind of like him, the other day I'm like, God, you're a problem. But there's one thing that he's always said in the last like 5 years that I think is actually pretty on point. I think one of the main thing that needed to come out of, because you kind of hit on it about the idea that just because somebody is rich, a woman, poor, black, white, whatever it is that you identify as, or whatever group you're a part of, like you said, we should listen to all women. We should listen to 100%. All people, but you believe all facts. And so it's literally the idea that the thing that pisses me off is when you have somebody that is in a group that has a tendency to be not heard, to be, lambasted, to be just like pushed down or whatever it is. Yeah. And they use that particular class or that, status or whatever it is to claim something. And it's typically something that happens to that group of people, only to find out that they're lying. Nothing pisses me off about that more, because now it becomes that much harder for somebody else to speak up on something that's going on. So again, if she did lie, then by all accounts, then yes, she should be raked across the coals. But we need to seriously believe her, look at all of the evidence, and
100%.
clear all that out.
Yes.
And then once this is all done, then we need to, that's what I'm saying about making our decision then at this point. Now, mind you, I do remember when her lawsuit was filed, I want to say in Discovery, some of these text messages did come out in Discovery already.
It was a complaint first. It was a complaint first. She's only filed a lawsuit now after he filed his lawsuit. So yes, you're right. So that's some of the text, and there's a lot of drama and controversy how she got access to those texts, because it was from a publicist who had been working with the team of publicists for Justin Baldoni. So there's lawsuits going on that side as well, that whether they illegally obtained those text messages or what have you. So yes, a fair point. And I do want, sorry. Do you want to say?
I was just going to say, like, I watch a lot of court stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, the funny thing is, even if it was illegally obtained, at the same time, you can't unring that bell. If those things were actually said and done, you may not win the lawsuit, but that's enough to go, okay, we done. We know who this person is, you know?
Yeah, and not that we need to tell you this, but we also need to be fair that we're two dudes discussing this, right?
Oh, sure.
We're not, there's not a woman joining us to discuss this, but I do want to address one thing before we move on. And Lauren said this, and I respect Lauren for saying that. She said, why is Justin's side being framed as more context and not also lies? We don't know. All I was saying, Lauren, is that his side provided more context to the text messages and the accusations. I'm not saying that what Justin's team provided as context is the truth. All right. I'm just saying that he provided more context with more text messages around the text message that was sent, or that were the exchanges that were had, and that the producer who was accused of showing Blake Lively the video of his wife having birthing a baby, he's claiming that was used to help in the scene that they were going to have with her having the child. So there are context being provided. It does not mean that they are telling the full truth. Okay. So I want to make it clear. We don't know, because none of us were there for these interactions, who's telling the truth. But what we do know, I think what we can all agree on, is this is going to get messier and messier as this goes on. But I believe, Winston, they're just going to come to a settlement and be done with this thing and move on from it, because I think both sides are getting hurt now in the process of it all, you know. So we'll see. But let us know what you thought about it. Send in your super chats. As we said, we're trying to break that 70 mark here today on the show as we start the new year, start 2025 with a bang. What are your thoughts on all of this stuff? We'll address it all here, and your questions, thoughts, and comments in the super chat. So let's move on. What do we got next here? Kristian, X-Men 97. Let's talk about drama, Winston. Bo DeMayo. Marvel Studios wrapped its animated anthology series What If the other day. And by the way, if you want to watch the full review of What If Season 3 from the Geek Buddies, it is on the Outlaw Nation channel. We put that up yesterday. And while critics have been kind, the audience reaction to the most recent season has been decidedly mixed. Yes, we were mixed on that one. Someone who outright disapproves, though, is Bo DeMayo, the former head writer on Marvel's much more acclaimed animated series this year, X-Men 97. Posting on X, DeMayo says, hashtag what if season 3, yikes, just yikes. I'd watch more to give notes on how it could have easily been done better, but I have some water to watch boil. Woo! He added that the season had, quote, no substance, and the, quote, the dialogue is flat and so obvious, and some of the premises are just weird, unquote. The comments are relevant as What If writer Matthew Chauncey has taken over DeMayo's old job, serving as head writer on the third season of X-Men 97 and overseeing rewrites of the second season, a season which DeMayo had already written before being let go by Marvel. In reaction to his review, DeMayo indicated that Chauncey and Marvel had already made changes to his X-Men 97 second season work, saying they removed intercut time hopping across the first episodes because it was, quote, too complicated. He later added they're, quote, throwing out or reworking most of my season 2 as well. He also says that A.C. Bradley, who served as head writer on the first 2 seasons of What If, completely stepped back for Chauncey to take over in the show's third season. So my man just dropping pipe bombs all over the place, Winston. Your thoughts on this and your thoughts on season 3 of What If? Is Bo valid in his criticism and his point of view on this?
Yeah, he's valid, bro. It was big trash. My God, it had moments that were good. But my God, was that? Why do we need a love story between Howard the Duck and Darcy. We don't. That was the stupidest shit. I just, man, you talk about something that was a lot of fun and had a lot of promise, and it literally felt like, if
Yeah.
Did you used to watch South Park?
Of course. I love South Park.
Do you remember Kyle's other cousin Kyle?
Oh, yeah.
That's what season 3 felt like, is that all of a sudden, hey guys, like that is what this last season of what it felt like. And that sucks because there were some really cool concepts laid up. Why on earth, again, going back to Howard the Duck and Darcy, why are we showing that? But we're not explaining how Storm got Mjolnir. It's not really a spoiler. It's in the trailer. So just as a heads up, everybody. But why is that never addressed? We're just like, oh yeah, and by the way, this version of Storm just happens to wield Mjolnir. Do we not think that is a very interesting story to know about? What the fuck are we talking about here? I excuse my language. I'm trying to 2025 mustard. I don't know if it's gonna stick, but I'm gonna try and figure that out this year. But it just he has a point, and now
I think he does.
Arguably the best TV show of last year. You can at least Rushmore.
Yeah.
Looks like its second season is in trouble if this is genuinely true, that he really kind of pushed out whoever was working on it in the first 2 seasons, and it really was all him. All this praise that was heaped on Chauncey's a genius, which was all reported, and everybody's like, I can't wait to work with him again, and blah 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 blah.
Right.
But it goes to show, honestly, in a weird, messed up way, man. Why is it the worst people are the most talented? Everything I've heard about Bo DeMayo's room, was he made people legitimately uncomfortable.
Yes, true.
I have heard plenty, both the reports and then the word around town.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So like, why is it somebody that clearly is a very good writer and very, very good at telling stories, and these particular stories is apparently an ass? Because that's why we're here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if he could just not send pictures of himself dressed like Cyclops, being like, with no shirt on, talking about, hey baby, use this for your rat and your anime, and like, then we would be fine. We would be able to see Onslaught. God damn it! And now, oh, my headache.
I just want to make it clear, those are alleged things that happened. Those are allegedly. Yeah, I don't want to get us. Look, I know someone very, very well who knows Bo, and Bo knows that he has this instinct to rattle the cage, to stick the stick in the lion's den when he shouldn't be sticking the stick in the lion's cage, rather. But he can't help himself, and I think this is another situation where he spoke up. Now, I think he's got a right to speak up. I think he's got a point of view that makes sense, because if you look at X-Men 97, that's an excellent, excellent show. Arguably, one of the reasons people started to have faith in Marvel again, because coming into this now, we seem to have changed our point of view. There's people having hope again for Marvel as we're turning the corner and what have you. X-Men 97, I think, was essential in that, in a time with both of these last phases weren't being received that well, or being received as middling phases. And so I think he's got a right to feel the way he feels. Going after another creator, I think, is a real minefield when you're going after Matthew Chauncey, and especially after people have chimed in on the season. I think if you chimed in on the season ahead of time, then maybe you're ahead of the curve and maybe you get a little crap. But when the season plays out, people turn around and go, you know what? Bo was right. Bo was right. And then you don't have to say anything more. But coming in after the season has dropped, this piling on, and now it turns on you where people start to be like, oh, you're jealous. Like someone said in the comment, oh, he's a jealous ex-lover and what have you. And so your criticisms now get put into that prism rather than a different prism. If you were to say this before the season came out, then again, I don't know how much access you would have had to see the what if stuff. So, but clearly he thinks X-Men 97 is his baby, Winston, and he's so afraid of what Matthew Chauncey is going to do to season 2 and season 3 of that show. So I understand his point of view. You could argue whether he should say anything or not, but what can you do at this point? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm on the same page with you. And again, let me reiterate this one more time. This is all allegedly. Like, it's not.
Yes,
I'm not a cop. I'm not a lawyer. I'm none of that. This is all alleged stuff that between the articles and stuff that I've heard around town. But like, I say all that to say, I think genuinely the frustrating part is, like you said, about him waiting to do this after the fact and all that. Again, Bo is so good at actually writing, but when it comes to any of the kind of social stuff, because I remember being pissed off when he was like, if you want to know the truth about what Disney's doing, pay for it on my OnlyFans. Bro, just tell the truth. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. That's it. You don't need to be doing all of that. And it doesn't frame your argument well at all to be like, I'm going to put the truth, quote unquote, behind a paywall. Yeah. That's weird. That's incredibly weird. If you have a legitimate lawsuit or gripe you need to put out there, then go put it out there, the proper channels. Why are we charging me $9.99 a month so I can get little snippets of what was going on with you? So it's like, it's again, that is the weird part to me, is just the idea that he is very good at his job, that as the actual creative part. It's the other half that I'm just like, dude, come on. So,
and listen, let's make it clear. Not the most creative people are the worst people. Just some of the creative people can be worse people. There are plenty of not worse people who are very, very talented.
I get it, but what I will say is this: why is it always feels like it's the top of the top? It's literally like, bro, I'll put it to you this way.
Yeah.
R. Kelly, for example, he genuinely is a very good musician. He is a sick son of a bitch. All right. You know what I'm saying? Harvey Weinstein, he clearly was a good producer. He's a sick son of a bitch. Like, I'm not putting him in the same camp as either one of those two, but you see what I'm saying? Where it feels like it's always the person that is legitimately making shit happen and in a good way. And then all of a sudden it's just like, really? That's all I'm saying. Again, I am allegedly, I am not putting him in the same camp as them, but just to give you a metaphor of all the. Aaron Rodgers is the most annoying asshole, period, at this point. But when he was good at football, my God, was he good at football? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes. But I think for every Aaron Rodgers, like 20 other quarterbacks that were excellent, as excellent and aren't troublesome. So there's always the balance, right? With Weinstein, you can go to Brian Grazer. How many amazing things has Brian Grazer produced? And there's never been one, I don't think there's ever been negative said about him, or Ron Howard producing stuff. And so there's always the balance. But I hear you, Winston. And I mean, and Bo's got an OnlyFans to push. So, he's worried about his finances. And speaking of finances, ladies and gentlemen, let's toss it over to Kristian Harloff, who's going to tell us a little bit about finances with Rocket Money.
I've told you about Rocket Money, guys, and the reason why for Rocket Money was so important is that I for a long time I used to do these things where I'd be on my phone and I'd start searching for these apps. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll sign up. Oh, for free? Yeah, it's free for now, but then it's going to be $20, $30 a month, and you forgot that you're even paying it. And I was like, oh, well, this Rocket Money lets you know about what subscriptions that you have that you're not paying attention to. It can cancel subscriptions for you. It really is amazing, and it just cuts so much time out of my schedule, and I love it because you don't even know how much you're paying in subscriptions, and you're probably paying way more than you think, because over 74% of people have subscriptions they've forgotten about, and I definitely did that. I can tell you that right now. Like, there was a couple of, I'm telling you, some of these apps, I tried some of these apps and I'm like, oh shoot, I forgot all about it. You think you spend around $62 per month on subscription, something like that, but it's close to about 300. You're close to about 300 a month, because Rocket Money is also, it's a personal finance app, and it cancels your unwanted subscriptions. It monitors all of your spending, and it helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Everyone that's using it, 500 million in canceled subscriptions. Wow. It saves about $740 a year. It's great. So stop wasting money on things that you don't use. You just cancel your unwanted subscriptions. You go to rocketmoney.com/thing, rocketmoney.com/thing. Very easy. rocketmoney.com.
All right. Thank you so much, Kristian Harloff. Rocket Money, absolutely use it. It has been an invaluable tool for me, especially as you go into 2025. It's officially here, 2025. All of you have goals. All of you have resolutions, possibly. But look, financial stuff, I'm sure, is a number one thing. So, if you want to get on top of your stuff, and I know it's scary, it's intimidating, can be overwhelming to face your finances, but trust me, taking that first step towards confronting this stuff, you having a great partner like Rocket Money by your side to help you get on top of your finances, no judgment involved. That's a real great way to do something really positive for yourself going forward in 2025. And you never know what doors that can open for you. So definitely sign up over there with fine folks at Rocket Money. All right, guys. Hey, we're currently at 7 super chats. So anything you want to discuss with us once the main topics are done, fire them in there, y'all. I mean, this is 2025. It's Winston and I. It's the inmates in charge of the asylum. So come and hang out with us, and we will keep going until the last super chat is done. So we'd love to have you help us beat 72 super chats here, especially because Coy and Winston are probably going to come in like Godzilla and King Kong and stomp on things on Friday. I'd like to at least give them something to compete against. So help us get over that bump there. All right, let's move on to our next story here. Winston A, and that is Bill Skarsgård says he talked to Andy Muschietti about The Brave and the Bold, and he commented on the Lex Luthor rumors. During a new interview, Nosferatu star Bill Skarsgård, by the way, Nosferatu killing it at the box office right now, reveals that he would be interested in playing both Batman and the Joker, and that he has spoken to Andy Muschietti about The Brave and the Bold. Skarsgård, of course, takes on the titular role of the ancient vampire Nosferatu, Count Orlok there in the movie, and it is far from the actor's first time undergoing a twisted transformation to play a monstrous villain. We, of course, remember him as Pennywise the Clown in the It series, which he will be reprising in the HBO Max Welcome to Derry spinoff series, with which director Andy Muschietti is co-writing and producing. But during an appearance on Happy, Sad, Confused podcast there from Josh Horowitz, Skarsgård was asked if he'd spoken to Muschietti about the planned DCU Batman movie, The Brave and the Bold, and he said that he had, but wasn't, quote, sure where he's at with it, unquote, and didn't give any indication that he'd actually talked about a potential part. Josh Horowitz followed up by asking his guest if he's ever considered taking on a comic book movie role. And it sounds like Skarsgård would be interested in playing either Batman or the Joker or both if the opportunity came his way. He said, quote, there's a pretty cool Joker in me, and it would be very sick. Horowitz followed up by asking Skarsgård about the rumors about he and his brother, Alexander Skarsgård, were in contention to play Lex Luthor in James Gunn's Superman prior to Nicholas Hoult landing the gig. The actor said he read the reports online and asked Alexander about it, but neither of them received a phone call. Skarsgård is frequently fan cast as a Joker, but there is a perception among some that he might be a little too obvious of a choice to play that particular character. Batman would definitely be an outside-the-box idea, and one we're not sure how many Dark Knight fans would be on board with. So, an interesting decision here, or interesting conversation, interesting quotes here from Bill Skarsgård, clearly wanting to corner the market on these interestingly out-there characters like the Joker, but the Batman is an interesting decision as well, like interesting possibility as well. And having him play both, man, that's an Elseworlds I kind of would like to see, because that's always been the commentary of Batman and Joker, Winston, is that they're the flip side of the same coin. Your thoughts on this?
I mean, that to me would actually be a really, really interesting story. I would even love a world. I don't know if it exists, but I would love a world where Batman is legitimately insane, and he is, that these, because the whole premise that a lot of people say is his rogues gallery are different parts of his own broken psyche.
Yeah.
How interesting would that be if Batman legitimately is just kind of fighting himself?
Yeah.
This is like a story. That would be so interesting, that like he is the one masterminding. It's almost like a Fight Club type situation.
Right.
And so then when he goes to like fight the Joker and stuff like that,
yeah,
he's really just fighting him. Like he made the own plans that he's foiling and crap. So like he is fighting the henchmen and the lieutenants, but the big boss is himself. That would be wild. I know that's not what he means. I know he means that I would play a part across from myself, but for some reason now I am super intrigued, and that's how I'm interpreting it, and I want him to do it.
It brings to mind the Batman Who Laughs, that run that I recently discovered. This run here from Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo, where it's a supervillain, the Batman Who Laughs. Right. He's an evil counterpart, an alternate version of Batman within the dark multiverse. He's a combo of the Joker and the Batman. So that's and that whole series, if you haven't read that run, it is impeccably.
I haven't read the whole series, but I'm familiar with the character specifically. Yeah.
It's impeccably drawn, and it is pretty brutal and dark. So I think what Skarsgård is referring to, the dark version of the Joker that he'd want to play, is an R-rated Joker, which we haven't really fully seen. Look, Heath did a really good job with it. Certainly, Jack Nicholson did his thing, but we haven't seen that Joker like we've seen. Even the Killing Joke animated one kind of tried to smooth a little bit of the edges off. But a full Joker going full Joker, I think would be insane, because we've seen him do in the comics some of the most horrific things, Winston, and some of the most unsettling things we ever seen in any comic. So if they were to take the doors or the barriers off of the Joker with an interpretation like that, I think would be very interesting to see.
I feel like the closest we've gotten in that regard might be the ruthlessness in Under the Red Hood, the animated. Like that is about as close as we've gotten to Joker, just fully unhinged sociopath. Or maybe even it's under the Killing Joke, Dark Knight Returns.
Right.
And then obviously then all of a sudden he's running through the amusement park and just straight up shellacking people left and right without any regard. But we have gotten incredible Jokers. You were 1,000% right, but I don't think we've I don't think we've just seen the killer. We have not just seen I am going to murder everything.
Right.
So that would be interesting. I still cannot get over him being like, I've got a really good Joker. He's weird, bro. Maybe I get what you're saying, but damn, keep that shit to yourself.
Yeah, right.
Like, word it differently. Yeah, man. I feel like that is a role that would be so interesting to tackle. I feel like I could bring something really cool to it. Not, I have a really interesting Joker in me, bro. My God. Like, have you ever been in like a bar or something, Rocha, and you hear a dude hit on a woman and he says something so sketchy, like, everybody keep an eye on him the rest of the night?
Yeah.
That's what that felt like to me. I was like,
sometimes not even to a woman. I've seen people say stuff in bars and I go, we need to watch this guy for the rest of the night, or I need to leave.
What's that meme? What you mean by that?
Can we go back to this part that you said a couple of minutes ago? What do you mean by that?
I'd like to clarify those statements.
It's Finstock, the guy at the bar they were talking about. Yes, maybe Finstock for sure. But yeah, I'd love this idea to see that approach to it, a darker approach to it. Bill Skarsgård, I love what he's done. I liked him in Nosferatu. I've seen some people criticize the mustache. What a petty little thing to be upset about, and the design of
mustache.
And I saw someone criticize it, saying something like, why would they make it such an unusual look for Nosferatu? And I'm like, have you seen the previous two iterations of Nosferatu? What are you talking about? He's an unusual vampire in the story. So I thought that was hilarious to have that criticism. But Bill has done a wonderful job bringing these characters to life, man. I mean, as we were saying yesterday, Bill, Alan Tudyk, Andy Serkis, this is a certain section of people you go to really bring these characters to life for live action, man.
I mean, all I'm saying is this. I even think that like his acting was not the problem in The Crow. He personally did a good job. It's just it was a fucking awful movie. Yeah. That's everything else around it was the problem.
Yeah.
Because like I think the one thing that worked was his connection with what's her name? FK Twigs.
FK Twigs, yeah.
I thought that their relationship was actually pretty well done.
Yeah.
It's just everything else was a pile of dog doo-doo. And that was the issue there. So I'm not judging his acting. I think he'd be fantastic. I still can't get over that statement. I got a really good Joker in me. Put him back.
Yeah,
put him back on the shelf. Why? You just want to get a killer clowns, huh? Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see. So we'll see. We'll see with that with Bill Skarsgård. What do you guys think? Do you guys want to see Bill Skarsgård as Joker? What are your choices? I mean, everyone's so obsessed with who Batman is going to be. I don't think we're going to get the Barry Keoghan Joker. I don't think necessarily in James Gunn's DCU, or maybe we are. What do you guys think? Do you want to see a different Joker in James Gunn's DCU? Do you want to see an R-rated Joker, close to an X-rated Joker in terms of the violence? And who would you want to see do that? Is Skarsgård the choice? Let us know when you send in your super chats here on the show. All right, let's move on to our next story here. Let's talk about a little box office. I know it's Wednesday, but we're going to talk about a little bit of box office here, Winston. The U.S. box office is set to hit $9 billion in 2025. That's the prediction for this upcoming year. The U.S. domestic box office is estimated to come in at a final figure of little over $8.5 billion for 2024, which is down, ironically, from the previous year of 2023 with $8.9 billion. So it's off by about 400,000 here. That's far better than estimates earlier in the year, which had it sitting at just $8 billion. Intelligence adds that more than 680 million tickets were sold in 2024. The outlook, however, is rosier for 2025, as Deadline reports that analysts are estimating the overall box office to do around $9 billion in 2025, making it the best COVID year thus far, but still far from the giddy heights of $11.8 billion in 2018. Of course, a year before we started walking into the COVID situation. At that time, 45 movies opened over 20 million at the box office, with 35 grossing over 100 million domestically. This year, 34 movies opened over $20 million and just 22 crossed $100 million domestically. One thing you'll see more of next year, though, is product. That's for sure. There's more films coming out in 2025. ComScore reports that 110 movies in 2025 will open with more than 2,000 theaters each, well above the 95 that did so in 2024. There's also only 3 weekends currently with no wide releases, down from the 6 empty weekends of 2024. Though some have decried how streaming and PVOD has removed the reason to go to a cinema. That's not reflected in tentpole films, with ample evidence of no sharp drop-offs in viewership at cinemas when PVOD releases for certain titles arrive. So, Winston, what are your thoughts on this, the prediction here in 2025?
I mean, it makes logical sense. Look back at last year, and again, there were some really good movies. Let me pull up my little media thing. Like your biggest movies of last year are Dune Part 2, Deadpool and Wolverine, Inside Out 2. Those are your majors. There are other movies that came out, obviously, but nothing that really, I mean, that we were teed up. Joker Folie à Deux, certainly, but there wasn't, oh my God, other than those films. Right. And we've already been talking them to death. Captain America, Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, Superman. Then you've got a new Ryan Coogler film. In Sinner. You've got what are some of yours that you're looking forward to? Because like there's an insane amount of like massive either sequels or directors getting back in the fold that is just going to make this coming year ridiculous.
Well, I mean, we've got Wolfman just a couple of weeks from now. I want to see how that does. I'm really excited to see how that one plays out. We've got a new Paddington film coming out. The Monkey film from Osgood Perkins. A lot of people really coming around on Osgood Perkins as a director. That's one that's really interesting. How is Snow White going to do, man? Is that going to overcome a lot of the negative press? Will people go and see that film? We've got a new Bong Joon-ho film and Mickey 17 coming out. You mentioned Thunderbolts already. 100% I'm on board with that. The next Mission Impossible movie is coming out, Winston. And what if that one gets received a lot better than the previous one? 28 years later, people went crazy for that trailer that's coming out next year. I don't
know if it's going to do well, but Snow White,
Snow White, yeah. Is it going to overcome stuff? Jurassic World Rebirth is next year as well. So there is a lot coming. And then Superman, as you mentioned, Fantastic Four, as you mentioned as well.
Live action Lilo and Stitch, the Karate Kid Legends movie. I forgot about that. Ballerina is coming out. Like How to Train Your Dragon live action.
The Michael Jackson biopic is supposedly coming out next year. Tron Ares. Yeah, there's a lot, dude. Yeah.
Oh, the Kendrick Lamar and Trey Parker movie, bro. I forgot about that. Oh my God, I forgot about that. All of this. There's a new Naked Gun.
Yes, the Liam Neeson version. He's stepping in for Leslie Nielsen.
And it's done by Akiva from Lonely Island. That's probably going to be hysterical. Yeah. I'm actually very much here for that. Like that's the thing. Right. And the return of Freaky Friday. They've got the
Freakier
Freakier
Friday.
Fridays coming up too. Like, so that's part of it that makes sense. Other than the fact that there's a number of things. We're now jettisoned from the strike, from the pandemic. We're jettisoned from call it 2.5 strikes. Because obviously for those that didn't know, last year obviously content still came out and whatnot, but Hollywood was really dragging its feet because of IATSE. I have not seen that slow of a year from the acting standpoint of things outside of, say, the strike and the pandemic. In a very long, it was very, very quiet. On average, like, it picked up a little bit once we got to August, but on average, in any given month, I'll do somewhere between 4 to 8 auditions. By the time we got to June, I had done 5 auditions all year for anything theatrical. Wow. That just and that was a common theme that was happening for a lot of people in the industry, whether it be, auditioning on stuff, or people on crews being like, yeah, man, I normally have X, Y, and Z projects lined up that just did not happen. And that's because negotiations were still technically happening, just with a different set of people at that point. So everything was kind of put on pause that wasn't already greenlit to just make stuff happen. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
There was a lot of catching up of, hey, we didn't write for half a year. We got to write these scripts now. Hey, we didn't, whatever. This has to get done. We got to get the new season of Abbott out or whatever. But the rest of it wasn't happening. So I expect it to go up with these bigger names of films and directors with putting stuff out. I absolutely expect it to go up.
Yeah, I wonder if we're going to get, like the heydays of Disney with like 8 films that cross $1 billion. We also didn't even mention Avatar that is coming out next year as well. Wicked Part 2. So there are possibilities in the wind, because by the time Wicked Part 2 comes out, a lot of people will have caught up on Wicked Part 1 who maybe didn't want to see it in the theater because they didn't want people singing next to them while they're trying to watch the movie. And they may be coming around on the film. It'll be be out on a home release by that time. And there'll be, I'm sure, numerous versions that have come out over the year in 4K and Blu-ray and whatever. People will be catching up. So maybe Wicked Part 2 comes out and people are coming to this in massive numbers as well. So yeah, I think there's a real possibility we have 5 to 8 films that cross $1 billion next year with all the films that are coming out. And I think maybe this, and you all know I'm crazy. I think maybe this estimate is low. It might be $500,000 more, or even $1 billion more that box office yields us next year. Because I do think people are desperate to go out to the theater to see good movies and to see tentpole films, franchise films. You don't get the same effect watching that at home as you do watching it in a crowded theater. And I think when you provide more content like that for people to go see, they'll go to the theater to experience it multiple times. And so I think that's an element of this in 2025, that there are a lot of options there for people to go see multiple times these tentpole films in the theater. So we will see, brother. We will see.
Yeah, we will.
All right, what we got next here in terms of stories? Oh, Squid Game. Let's jump into it. Man, Squid Game season 2. We're up to episode 4 right now, and we're just loving it.
I told you once like it's slow start, but once you hit that gas, bro.
Yeah. Dude, we had to stop 15 minutes in to watch a recap. I was like, we need to watch a recap. And we spent we watched 2 recaps that broke everything down. The second season of Squid Game launched on Boxing Day. That's for you Brits out there, December 26th, and has quickly become Netflix's biggest debut ever. No surprise. The new run topped the streamer's non-English TV list with 68 million views, breaking the record for most views for a show in its premiere week. The previous record was held by the first season of Wednesday with Jenna Ortega there with 50.1 million. The 7 new episodes also ranked number 1 in no fewer than 92 countries and has already become Netflix's 7th most popular non-English TV show in just 5 days. It follows on from the first season, which was released in September of 2021 and has amassed 265.2 million views to date, making it Netflix's most watched series of all time, regardless of non-English or English. The NFL Christmas Day Game Day Live coverage took the top spots on the TV list of the past week with a little over 14 million views each. That's amazing. Netflix has also released the first poster for season 3, which is really season 2, part 2, which will air in the summer or fall of 2025. So Very interesting stuff, Winston. Although I think they're jumping the gun a little bit for those of us who are still catching up on season 2 to be announcing a season 3. But what are your thoughts on the numbers here? And are they warranted in your opinion?
I mean, yeah, it's really, really good. I think the only thing that I was frustrated with was the idea that it was shorter, and we really did get left on a cliffhanger that it did feel more of like, instead of season 2, it felt like season 2 part 1. It felt like what kind of happened with Wicked. It's like, okay, technically, yeah, you could end it there, but like, why did you end it there? Like, Jesus. And it sounds like it was less of a cash grab situation. It's more that his whole season was just too much to put into one, so they just he found a way to break it up. Yeah, but I genuinely wish they had split it into a part 1 and part 2 instead of calling it season 2 and season 3, because you'll get there. I don't necessarily think that is an ending for a season. It's a massive cliffhanger, but it's not. That feels like a next time on Dragon Ball Z. Like it literally feels like we need to get back to this immediately. Like we gave you your first 7 episodes in a drop. Here's your next 7 episodes in a drop like a week or 2 later. So like that's my only beef, but it is fantastic and it deserves all of the praise that it's getting. Like I didn't think you would be able to find a way to make me care and hate people in the same way, in the same manner, the way that we have. If you're on episode 4, then you've at least gotten through the first set of games, right?
Yes, the first 2 games.
So to see that, and you know kind of like what's going on with the main character and with the essentially what he's attempted to do.
Yes,
and how that just oh man, and then people were like, well, like I want to say so much, but this is not a spoiler episode for Squid Game 2. Maybe we need to do a Spill Tequila to do that and just let people know. But I'm not even trying to take people away from the show. I know Kristian ain't trying to spoil Squid Game. It's so good. It is so good, man. I might rewatch it today. I might rewatch the whole second season today.
Yeah. Kristian says don't spoil anything for him because he's never seen a 1. So this will be interesting. So they shot down the rumors that DiCaprio will possibly lead the American version of Squid Game that Fincher is working on, which of course Jeff broke on the hot mic all those months ago. So it's going to be interesting to see who is going to take over the American. Because I told my Milly Alcock last night that there's an American version coming, and she goes, "Why?
That's exactly how I feel.
What is the problem here? It's making all this money. It's getting hundreds of millions of views. It's #1 in viewership. Why do you need an American version?" And for once,
because America.
Right, exactly.
America, because there's gonna be tariffs on that one, bro. So America, we gotta make one right here, America.
and then she surprised me because she goes from the kitchen, "Did they learn nothing from Death Note?" And I stood up in my chair and go, "How the hell do you know about Death Note?" And there it was. She's always surprising me with the knowledge that she has about stuff. So yeah, American versions of these other shows don't always work out and don't always do well.
Because part of, honestly, I'll be honest with you, I don't know if it translates perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like there is something cultural specifically about this and how it's presented.
Yes, agreed.
That I just don't know. Like we kind of have it in another way in the Hunger Games. We don't necessarily need an Americanized version of it. Now, I said this yesterday when we were talking about it. There's something to be said that like people are like, hey, I personally like the American office over the UK office.
Yeah.
And so there's something there that we don't know. And once we see it, we go, wow, I'm actually really glad they did that. But on its face, because so much of it is tied to a cultural standpoint, and that's what makes it so good.
Yeah.
It does not sound like a good plan to me, but they're doing it. So I will judge it once I see it. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're greenlit this, then let me see what it is. Maybe the pitch for the Merc version is fantastic. And so that's why they're like, yeah, we want to do this, not just to make money, but because that's a good ass story.
I mean, it's Fincher. So like, you kind of have to go like, well, it's Fincher. I have to give it a shot. Yeah.
I didn't know Fincher was doing it.
Oh, yeah, David Fincher's doing it. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's like, I kind of have to give it a shot. But I mean, so much of the show already, just from the first 3.5 episodes, I already see the American connections. I mean, the fact that they're voting blue or red, whether to stay or not stay in the game, like that. I mean, come on. So to me, there's a lot here that I think is already there, but maybe there is a pitch that Fincher has dropped that is just too irresistible for Netflix, and we'll see how it turns out. And look, that reality show did well as well, and there's a second season of that coming. So clearly, everything in Squid Game is coming up gold for them right now. So why not see the limits of people's appetite for it before you pull back? So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we should move on. I don't think we have any more news stories right now. Oh, actually, you know what? I want to ask one question before we wrap up. I saw on Twitter. I don't think I can share this on the screen, or can I? Am I allowed? Oh, yeah, I can. Okay, so here. I want to put this up. Winston, this is 2025 for Marvel. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, the trailer dropped just a few days ago. Brave New World, Daredevil, Thunderbolts, Ironheart, Fantastic Four, Eyes of Wakanda, Marvel Zombies, and we're still getting Wonder Man in December. Winston A., we are chock full of Marvel for 2025.
We eat, bro.
What is the one you are most excited to see?
Can I see that image again?
Yeah, is it not up?
There we go. No, it went down for a second. It's back up now. The most excited to see Thunderbolt.
Wow.
If I'm being honest.
Was that your choice before the trailer or after the trailer?
That was my choice after. I was almost there before, but it's after, sure. Yeah, but it looks good, man. It looks very, very good. And I am here for it. And it's the one that I've heard the least amount of drama over. The only drama that was there was was literally just the idea of, oh no, like we did a character change. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
And because Stephen Yeun dropped out.
Right. Yes.
But otherwise, yeah, that sounds great, man. I'm here for it. But we eaten nine properties. That's great.
Right. Remember when we were complaining about 2 Star Wars movies in a year? Now we got 9 projects from 9 days. 9 projects from Marvel. So I'm Fantastic Four is my number 1. But after that trailer, Thunderbolts moved into a very, very comfortable second spot, like real close to Fantastic Four. So I'm excited. And then Brave New World after that. Those are and then Daredevil. I would say that's my 1, 2, 3, 4 right now. But then the rest of that stuff is not that far behind. So I hope it's all great. I hope we eat really well as Marvel fans in 2025 because we could certainly use it. So, all right, let's get into the questions here, Winston. We've got 18, but maybe we can get a little bit more as we go along asking these questions here. Renetta W, what's up, Renetta? Good to see you. Happy New Year, y'all. I watched the latest episode of Skeleton Crew, and this show keeps getting better. Bryce Dallas Howard did a wonderful job. Emotional, heartfelt, great ending to the episode. No spoilers. I haven't seen it. I'm going to be doing my reaction after we finish the show. Winston A., did you see the new episode? Are you loving the season of Skeleton Crew?
Yeah, man. I do not watch Skeleton Crew. I don't. Here's the thing. I have been a huge Star Wars fan my entire life, and something just happened to me. I don't know, somewhere around the Rise of Skywalker, and especially just because of the discourse that's been going on and on. Like, I personally am a big fan of The Last Jedi, and things got real toxic over the course of the next few years. And you throw in the fact that then the content also then got inconsistent. And so I've seen all of Mandalorian, never saw Ahsoka. I saw Boba Fett. Did not see Skeleton Crew, did not see Acolyte. I couldn't.
Okay.
I really couldn't. If somebody was like, hey, we're covering it, I need you to watch it, I'll do it. But the joy of Star Wars sadly has left my body, and I just can't. I really can't. And that sucks. I've heard good things about Skeleton Crew. That's really where I'm at this point. So if another major movie comes out, which we're getting Grogu, I forgot that's another movie coming out. Mandalorian and Grogu. Then I'll hop back in. But for the time being, I've just taken a step back personally.
Understood. Yeah. Everyone's got their own
games, Star Wars games that I have done a lot of. I love those.
Nice. As Kristian likes to say, the Mandalorian and Grogu. All right, Ewok says, although Netflix just debunked the rumor that DiCaprio would show up in Squid Game Season 3, I wouldn't be surprised if the star of the upcoming US version does show up as a way of connecting the two shows. 100%.
That would be smart.
Right? Don't you think, Winston? That's called synergy. Synergy. So
synergy.
I 100% think that's a great way to announce it too, is to have him show up on the thing. I would love it if it's Keanu. But I'm sure they're going to go, because of course Keanu has those Asian connections with his the films he's done and the respect he has for all Asian countries and the cultures that they have there. So Keanu would be an excellent choice. I mean, of course, DiCaprio is a big name. I've heard Brad Pitt kicked around as a possibility and all of that. Hey, Haskell, how was your New Year's Eve? Yeah, how was your New Year's Eve there, Winston? What'd you do?
I became Barry White. What? What? I already talked about this at the top of the show, but no. I mean, you can see the decorations. We did an end of the world, sex-pocalypse theme. So like my lady did an incredible job with the decorations, man. Like she got caution tape all over the place. We had radioactive signs all over the spot. The kitchen, we put like you know how they'll put like that clear tarp for like crime scenes. She hung that up, and then we put biohazard for the kitchen, which was hilarious and stuff like that. It was a good old time, man. And I was dressed ironically like an outlaw. Mr. Outlaw Rogue. I had my duster, I had my cowboy hat, man. I had my 6-shooter on my side. It was dope. It was dope, man.
That's awesome. Respect.
My lady looked like Catwoman, man. She had the cat suit going. I was like, "Hey, yo, Happy New Year to me."
Can you get on this motorcycle real quick? Can you get on Kristian chiming in on the private chat, telling us that he'd rather see the game series from Fincher, the game, that old movie that he did with Sean Penn and Michael Douglas, which was incredible. And he's only seen 2 episodes of Skeleton Crew. He's not sure if he will ever watch. So we will see.
Did you not see what he said right after that?
What did he say?
Did you not get the same? Never mind.
Okay. Gopal starting to Harden says Happy New Year. Kristian, clarify for me. Okay. Happy New Year. Oh no, I didn't see the last part. Sorry about that. Gopal Harden says Happy New Year. Julius Wyatt says Happy New Year to everyone, and go Dogs, baby. Talking about Georgia. That's coming up. You watching any of the games today, Winston? You watching any of the
I was going to very lazily and hungoverly watch Texas, but I'm here. So once this is over, I'm going to go finish.
Hook 'em horns, man. They're winning. Danny Fernandez. Shout out to Danny. 14-3 right now. They're beating Arizona State. That's what's up there.
What's up with Archie about to get this ring early, bro.
Alex Tornai says, Happy New Year, John and Winston. Same to you, Alex. Thank you. What is your one prediction for 2025? I predict that we will hear who the next James Bond will be and a release date. Cheers to a healthy and prosperous 2025. Thanks for all you do. Thanks for all you do, Alex. Yeah.
I want to believe that. Excuse me. I want to believe that, but I have been hearing that the main reason why we haven't gotten there yet is because there is massive infighting happening between the Broccoli and God, what's the other family? All of a sudden, my brain's not working.
Yeah,
massive infighting between the two families and the estates about what to do next. So we'll see. We will see.
Yeah, I would see. Wait, hold on. Let me answer this one, Kristian. Hold on. I mean, I think big prediction for 2025. I think James Gunn will announce our Batman in 2025, his Batman rather, and whether it's going to be Pattinson or whether it's not going to be Pattinson. I think we're going to get that announcement in 2025.
What is my prediction? My prediction is we are going to actually really love Robert Downey Jr.'s Dr. Doom. Whether or not we are still happy that he was selected for it is a different story, but I think he is going to crush the role, and we're all going to be like, damn, okay, I see it. I just hope that this all works out is kind of what I think is going to happen.
I also think Kathleen Kennedy leaves Lucasfilm by the end of 2025. All right, what's our next one here?
That's prediction. You just gonna throw that one under the rug? By the way,
Jasmine says, I don't know the truth of the matter, but never trust self-proclaimed male feminists. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I think there are a lot of self-proclaimed male feminists who adhere to that and are proud to be allies in a situation. Look, I know for me personally, the Me Too movement was an eye-opening situation for me. There were things that I was taught as a young man growing up in a toxic Latino male culture about how to, pursue women and, do all these kinds of things, that when the Me Too movement came out and I spoke with a bunch of people, ironically, one of the people that I really spoke to who enlightened me was Clark Wolf about how that approach is like from a woman's point of view. I had no idea. So, Me Too opened my eyes up to a lot of things. And I think there are people who want to be allies because they see like, oh, wow, that behavior in the past where I was like, oh, you're going to go out with me. I know you're going to go out with me. I know. Hey, are you ready to go out with me yet? Women are like, that was annoying as F, and just because it worked out a couple of times that I actually got the date doesn't mean that was the best way to go. So there's a way to be an ally. You can be self-proclaimed or not self-proclaimed, but if you're trying to change the narrative and trying to educate men on how to navigate these waters a little better, I don't think that's a negative. So, and we don't have all the information. We don't know what the truth is fully on the Justin and Blake situation. So I think that's the sad truth of it is there's a little bit of a pushback to men who are trying to do better in the world, in this situation.
Yeah, my quick thing is I think for anybody that is looking for allies, whatever class, protected class, group you're a part of, you just always kind of got to look back, honestly, to Martin Luther King's whole warning about the white moderate and just the idea of like and again, that could be applied to anybody, but I'm specifically using it right now because it's this idea of, they say they care about you and they think what's happening to you is wrong, but they are more compelled to keep the status quo because the status quo, they're still doing fine. So I think to that point, you will get a lot of people that will kind of run their mouth and claim that. And like someone I was bringing up with the Justin Baldoni thing, a similar situation of like being careful to trust somebody that's so outwardly like whatever, because then you look at Joss Whedon and like all the stuff he was doing and use that as an example. And I was like, but all that being said, I say all that to say that, like, again, this is not me specifically talking about any particular anything, but just the idea of just be careful of somebody that does say that they are all in it. Like, trust, let allies come in, but just keep enough of your guard up that you're not caught unawares.
Always remain with your eyes.
You are.
100%. Michael Miles says, ever since Joss Whedon got exposed for being a toxic fraud, I never trust outspoken male champions of, quote, empowering females. All I hear is, quote, thou dost protest too much when they do it, and it always rings hollow.
Oh, shit. They also said Joss Whedon.
Yeah. I hear you, but again, I have to push back and say, but then we can't just discount all men who want to make a difference, all men who want to learn. We have to create grace for men who want to do better. But I think what Stormy said here she made an excellent point, saying like, if you turn it into a money-making brand, then I have questions. And clearly Joss used that angle for himself to advance himself in the business. And I did a breakdown of that article that completely tore apart his behavior on my channel. And 100%, they were accurate to write that kind of stuff. And he was accurate to be exposed. And I think it does a negative, right? Just like false accusations do a negative to real accusations. People who claim to be one thing, especially when it's kind of a budding thing, a budding group of men who are trying to do better, you stain those men who are legitimately trying to do better because you used it for your own personal stuff. And to me, it always goes back to Hollywood. I just don't trust anybody in Hollywood anymore. I don't trust anybody trying to be good in Hollywood anymore. I just kind of always put it through that prism and let's see how they do. And I'm always monitoring it. So that's how I approach the whole situation. But yeah, I don't know if you have anything to say on that one. All right, let's move on. So I got to adjust my chair there because I'm getting so heavy, it gets smaller. Motorola says this would be $9.99, but Rocha told me to save my money the other day.
If you just saved your cup of coffee, you can have the Netflix, the Max, the Peacock, the Paramount Plus, the Tubi, the 3D, the 4B.
The 4B is like the ESPN El Ocho, the Ocho. Yeah, there we go. Dominic McWhiskey says someone needs to say it. F that talented torch soul of an artist. The line stops at unwanted hypermasculine sexual advances from the boss, a bodybuilder, and super strong lifter. That fool is nightmare fuel. I think he's talking about Bo DeMayo, and
I think so.
Yeah, and Don, I don't think you're wrong. What are your thoughts on his comments here, Winston?
I'm just gonna say, Rocha, if you start sending me half naked photos talking about, I hope this inspires you as we do Spill the Tequila today, or we do the Kristian Harlow, I'm gonna drop kick you in the throat. So don't do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think you go to jail in that one, not me, because
I'll happily go to jail. I will happily go to jail if you send me half naked photos of you being like, I hope this inspires you today. Bitch, we're not friends like that. We're not those type of friends. Okay. That's not how our friendship rolls. Okay.
Bro, I can't even look at myself half naked. How am I gonna take a photo? Tierv says Batman White Knight, where the Joker becomes sane but also insane, would be a good Joker for Bill Skarsgård. Oh yeah, that could be interesting. I remember Batman. I might have Batman White Knight somewhere in my stack of books here that I remember reading a long time ago. Yeah, good point, Tariv. I like that one. Alex back on in here. Alex Tornai, thoughts on potential Royal Rumble winners? Can you see Cena winning and going against Cody at WrestleMania? I think Drew will win. He has earned it, in my opinion.
Is Cody still the champ?
Cody's going to be the champion until WrestleMania. There's no way they take him off until WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I don't think Cena wins. I think Drew absolutely wins. Cena's got the retirement tour, and which is really kind of lame, to be honest with you, because Cena hasn't wrestled a good match in years. It's been really rough to watch him wrestle. I think that all is gone. The fire and the spirit to do it like he did before, he just can't. His body is so, racked from having stayed that shape for so long. I think it's tough to watch him. So they'll pick a great retirement match for him, but it won't be for the title. That makes no sense if he's retiring, and Cody has way too many people right now, like Gunther and Jay and even Roman possibly, who could vie for the title. And Drew will probably win and go for the title as well. So it's going to be interesting. But
I know I'm not supposed to look at the comments. I did for half a second, and someone said Rocha in nothing but the outlaw hat. Are you kidding me, bro?
No. Give me till 2026, and then maybe I'll take a picture like that. Don Ronaldo McWhiskey says, my first message was a little aggressive. Yes, it was, Don. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New, everyone. Thank you all for working this fine 2025 morning. Yeah, I mean, Winston, we were back and forth on this one. Because it's a holiday, and I wanted to kind of relax. But we've been having fun doing the shows this week, so thanks.
It's been a good time, man. It's been fun. It's been fun hanging with you every day.
Ditto.
Just keep that outlaw hat on your head.
Hello.
And everything else on your body as well. Don't you send me no howdy.
Which head do you want the outlaw hat on? Hello. Yeah.
Sir.
Mustard.
Genius movie pitches. Stephen A. Smith and John Kaiser in a plane. Oh my God.
I would watch the fuck out of that. That's amazing.
That is a perfect twosome. Luke TG1 TTV says, finish Dune Prophecy. Great TV. Happy New Year. Yes, it is. I liked Dune Prophecy. It's a good time.
I gotta give it a shot, man. Everybody's been talking good things about it.
Just be chill. Just know it's a slow burn, but it's worth it. The burn. Okay. That third episode is an incredible series turning episode. Christian Maydard says, have you seen the leader for Cap 3? Looks weird. No, I have not. Have you, Winston? The leader?
No. Did that drop? Did I miss something? I know I'm not.
Why would you say Cap 3? Isn't Captain America 4 that's coming out?
Technically, yeah, it is 4.
Yeah. So
it may have just a typo. They may have just forgotten.
Okay.
Because a lot of people don't remember that Civil War's title is Captain America Civil War, because it really feels like Avengers 2.5, because at the time a lot of people weren't really rocking with Ultron. It's aged better in now, but I remember people being like, that was okay.
Yeah.
A lot going on, and then Civil War came out and okay, that was my Avengers film. You know what I'm saying? So I think maybe that's probably where that little
Okay.
I think it was.
Yeah, because I'm looking right now. I don't see any pictures. There's a look of him, but I think they're probably going to do adjustments to his overall look because I don't think he's going to look like the leader fully. So, Mike Joyce has thoughts on Eagles resting Saquon on Sunday. Is that true? Have they come out and officially said that?
Are you fucking kidding? Yes. I am so mad about this. You want to know my answer? I'm furious. It's not like that's a Sirianni has said in a press conference. Let's see. That Saquon will likely sit Sunday's regular season finale against the Giants, putting an end to his chase on the season. Philly's postseason seeding is secured. Suggested Barkley will be one of the starters who will rest to gear up for the playoffs. That's infuriating because the truth is, it's not happening again. You're not getting back to this place. Adrian Peterson got close one time. It was 8 yards short.
Right.
That sucks. That really pisses me off. You're not even going to try.
Yeah.
Like if you wanted to say, dude, you got to pull it off in a half. You can play a half and that's all we're giving you. Fine. But seriously?
Yeah.
What
happens if they play the playoff game and they get eliminated right off the bat? Like, what was the whole point? You lost the record. You lost the chance at a Super Bowl.
I hope they do now. Now I'm back to my Eagles hate. The only reason I was cheering for those assholes is so that Barkley, because he was doing unreal things and he was on pace. I was like, I want him to do this.
Yeah.
I genuinely want to see this happen. But now I hope they burn out hard. I hope y'all literally get blown out like 50-0 at home in the playoffs. I hope you crash and burn. As a matter of fact, I hope the seeding works out that y'all play them and you beat the motherfucking brakes off them. I hope that Jaden Daniels goes in there and makes every Eagle his bitch. I'm so mad right now.
I know. Language.
I needed to let it out. I'm sorry. I'm done. Right. I'm done ranting.
Mustard. Matt Thomas.
I'm very sorry, Kristian. I will be quiet.
Matt Thomas.
Mustard.
Always support the men of color on this channel. All love. Thank you, Matt. That's very kind of you. Appreciate that. All right, let's see who. Alex is back. Thank you, Alex. Winston, who is your dream head coach hire for your Cowboys? And should they draft a quarterback in the first round? Is it time to move on from Dak?
We just paid him all that. We just paid him all that money. If he comes back and his leg don't work, then sure, we can move on. But for now, we paid him, and he's not a bad quarterback. I just think that we consistently, because like look at the play he's gotten. We're not giving him good personnel. We're not giving him good coaches to make stuff happen on the regular. It's Jerry Jones, playing the puppet master and not really doing things. So, good coach hire. I wanted Belichick, but he's going to college. If Pete Carroll is genuinely available and he wants to come down there, I'll take a Pete Carroll, man.
Pete Carroll might be interesting. I think that Lions offensive coordinator. I think there's an opportunity. Look, if he can do like Goff, Dak Prescott, if you can turn Goff into that, imagine what you can turn Dak Prescott into. So, because there's way more talent there, and so I think that could be an interesting thing. But Jerry's got to take the hands off. Got to take the hands off.
Yeah. But he never will. So the Cowboys are always going to be bad until he dies.
I agree. Just like Snyder. Vincent Zawada said, it's not a coincidence.
No. I laughed because at first I was like, why are you wishing death on Jeff Snyder? And then I was like, you mean Dan Snyder. I was like, okay, got you. I was like, what the hell?
It's not a coincidence that we had our first 11-win season since 1991, and it was the second season without Dan Snyder. We never had an 11-win season under Dan Snyder. That's not a coincidence. Vincent Zawada says, is it a remake or a spinoff Fincher's Squid Game? I don't know. I don't think they've said one way or the other that I know of.
If it's a spinoff, then I'll give a little more grace. I kept hearing remake. If it's a remake, I have a problem with that. If it's a spinoff, then it feels like you're expanding it. And then what that sounds like, whoever is ultimately truly behind the games, this is a worldwide network of super rich assholes that are like taking advantage of people. And if that's the case, that's actually kind of interesting.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Justin Fountain says, Superman and Jurassic World Rebirth are my top 10 movies to see this year. July is going to be slam-packed. Yeah.
Yeah, I've spent most of my summer seeing movies. I don't think my lady's gonna be too happy about that. Or, we're not going on vacation, baby. You see how many movies I gotta go to? This is expensive.
Matt Thomas says, so Winston, going to have to do Ahsoka reaction videos with you. Got it. By the way, Winston, when are we going to get you to finish the Twilight series? LMAO, go Bucks. Hashtag go Bucks.
I don't want to finish the Twilight series, but the one thing I did do when I was streaming, I can't right now, but once I'm streaming up again, I'll do the same thing I did. If we had a certain number of either whether I do it on YouTube or Twitch, either subscriptions or memberships, then I will use that will be my, okay, fine. I will watch the rest of the Twilight movies. But Jesus, man. Why are you subjecting me to this?
It's a good question. I would not subject it to him either. Alex Tornai says, what film most deserves a sequel? I think a follow-up to The Social Network would be super interesting. Ooh. That's a great suggestion, bro. Especially when we see what's happened to Mark Zuckerberg over the last 10 years. That could be a fascinating sequel.
That could be. What else needs a sequel?
Boy, Kristian's trying to run us out of here with these questions, man. Quickly. Go ahead. What do you got for a sequel?
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know let's pull from 2024 because my brain can't go deeper than that. I kind of want to see what happens to juror number 2. Does his name change from juror number 2 to defendant number 1? Like what are we
from WB and Clint Eastwood, juror number 3, the sequel. He's back again. That would be hilarious, man. I'm down with that. Oppenheimer 2. Yes.
Oppenheimer 2. Oh, Lord.
I'd like the Batman Part 2. That's the sequel that I would like. I'm just joking. I don't know what sequel I would like. What have I seen recently? I know. Let me think about it as we go along. Let's have some more questions here. Let's see. Armada says genius movie pitches. Aaron Rodgers plays the father in a Footloose remake where he won't get vaccinated shortly after the COVID-19 pandemic. That's perfect. I like that. Is there anything dumber this year than Aaron Rodgers saying, if you're going to criticize me, give me your vaccination status first, then let me hear your criticism? That is the dumbest, most ignorant thing that an adult human male has said in 2024. I put that up in the top 5, man.
Yo, man, there's a reason why his family don't F with him. There's a reason why a number of women that have dated him have been like, that was hell.
Shailene said that. Yeah.
There's a reason why you already have both Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson, 2 incredibly talented players over on the Jets.
Yeah.
They're like, either A, I'm getting the F up out of here, or B, it's like, oh, you should tell so-and-so to come to the Jets. No, hell no. Keep them as far away from here as possible. I would never do that to them because, dude, he is just like social cancer. Like he's just the worst, man. He is the absolute worst.
Yeah. I agree. All right, we got Haskell. Hey, Haskell. What's up, Haskell? He says, hey, guys, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too, Ed. Thanks so much for supporting all of us that you do in the space 4 years, brother. He said, my run in the Ultimate Knockout Pool ended last week. Out of 33,919 entries at $25, I was one of 110 people left to win nearly $800,000. Ooh, or split it if it got down to 10 people and all agreed. It was a double pick week, and I had Arizona, who lost to effing Carolina in OT, and Buffalo over New England. I curse Arizona for eternity. Well, Haskell, I think you have no one else to blame but yourself for trusting Kyler Murray to do what he was supposed to do, which is to win, because there's nothing he does better than win when you think he's going to lose and lose when you think he's going to win. That's Kyler Murray to a T. That being said, that sounds like a Squid Game to me, Winston. If you keep eliminating people to get $800,000 and split it evenly or not, that seems like a Squid Game to me. I love it. And sorry, Ed. Sorry you lost, brother, man. But I'm sure but hanging in as long as you did, brother. You got to feel good about that. Simon Section says, tell the truth. Okay, my sports aficionado, do you think that the NFL knew about CTE before Dr. Bennett Omalu? They just decided to forget about it and smoke a cigarette instead. Happy New Year. Of course, he's referencing Concussion, the film with Will Smith that you and I were making a joke there with. Do you think that the NFL knew about CTE?
Yes, no. I think that they knew something.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they necessarily knew to the level until the doctor said something. But I will tell you what they're very good at doing. The NFL is very good at covering shit up. That's they do not want anything affecting their bottom line, bro. Whatever they can do. And like to the point where none of the Ray Rice stuff would have happened if that video didn't get dropped. The minute that video dropped, bro, they were, oh my word, you're out. Because like the point of that is like, look at Greg Hardy and the fact that he's throwing his girlfriend on a bed of guns and being abusive, and they were like, sign him to a new contract. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's whatever doesn't affect their bottom line. And so I guarantee you they knew something. They maybe just didn't know to that extent.
I think they've always known that there are issues in the game physically towards their players. I don't think they care. I mean, the fact you had to force them to care to pay for the older players who built the foundation for the league's success that you have now. This is the frustrating part of it all, is that the people who achieve success now don't go back to give love to the people who laid the foundation for their success. Too many current players, too many current coaches, too many current team owners don't remember the older players past 1980, maybe even past 1990, who were the ones that built the appetite up for decades for it to enjoy the success it has now. Same thing with the NBA, to a degree, the NHL. These are these things, and definitely Major League Baseball, although they do, I think, a better job of honoring their past greats in Major League Baseball. But certainly NFL is a ruthless business that cuts you out if you affect their bottom line in any way, shape, or form. Because I remember somebody kneeling, and it was a big old issue. But somebody wearing a hat is just a $12,000 fine. So it's an interesting situation.
I'm gonna bite my tongue and save it for game time because there's a really funny man. There's something funny about that, but I'm gonna let's keep pushing.
Oh, shout out to Nerds Engage, who gifted 5 Kristian Harloff memberships to the channel.
Thank you.
Nice job, Nerds. Thank you so much. That's very cool. Oh, Screw Safe Gene up in here. What's up, dude? He said, I'm just here to support my people of color. LOL. The food was very seasoned on this episode, if you know what I mean.
Screw face, bro. I love following Screwface on Twitter. That shit is killing me. These people keep coming for my mans, and he's like, look, bitch, let me tell you something. You see this photo with Kendrick? Who you got photos with? Not a damn nobody. You some bitch. Oh, well, you not going to tweet me back? You quiet? You real quiet, huh? Damn. Sucks to suck, bitch. Screwface, my man. I love Screwface.
Screwface is always walking into the arena. And everyone is always running out of the arena ring when they go toe to toe with him. It's for sure. Mirror Domain says, "What iteration of Sinister Six will we ever see?" Oh, bro, we are never. If we see Sinister Six in our lifetime, I will be surprised. I will be absolutely surprised, and I don't think we see it unless it's in the Marvel universe. That's my opinion. What do you think?
Interesting. You're not wrong. I think that if we're going to see anything, it's definitely going to be the Spider-Verse. I don't know if we're going to see it in live action. I think it'll be Spider-Verse, to be honest with you. I think the closest we got was No Way Home, because you got Electro, Sandman, Lizard, Green Goblin, and then is that it? It was just the 4?
Yeah, I think that's the closest we got.
You got the Fantastic Four. There you go.
Yeah, good call. Let's keep going here. Screwface. Yeah, no. People like always trying to. All right. Corn Emperor says, Mr. Batman with the sweat coming down. Mr. Batman. I like that.
Mr. Batman.
Chris Myers says, do you think the NBA is dying? And if so, why?
I think it's struggling. I certainly think it's struggling. And my only reason is because you are allowing this other drug dealer to come encroach on your territory. You really just gonna let the NFL just roll up on you and put up Beyonce on Christmas on Netflix and take your day from you? That's why. What the hell?
Yeah. Chris, I think we see the news this week. 48% down is the viewership on the NBA. I think it's because the product is not doing well. It's just guys running back and forth, popping threes. I think the WNBA is a better product now than the NBA in terms of what you're viewing if you're a basketball purist. The passes, the plays they're designing, the way they're using each other as teammates, that is much more exciting and interesting of basketball, the basketball that we're watching, than what you're watching right now in the NBA. And they're starting to fight again more often on the court, which is something that was a problem in the 70s and the 80s when the product was going down and not getting that many views initially until Magic and Bird showed up. So to me, I think these are the issues going on. And honestly, people know the season's too long and that they're just waiting for the playoffs. And that's when these games really start to mean something. And so I think that's where it's effective. And I don't think we have the stars that we had in the past. We don't have those same transcendent stars. Steph and LeBron are still the big stars. And I don't think Giannis, I don't think Jason Tatum, I don't think other than Luka.
Certainly not Jason Tatum, and you're going to put some respect on Luka's name. I'm not going to let you
do all Luka, that. Absolutely, but I don't think these other guys have the same kind of personality or same kind of attraction that like Steph and LeBron and these other guys had in the past. We don't have it anymore at that level, I don't think.
It's Joker sometimes, but even then, he's just...
Yeah,
it just depends. Like most of what makes Joker funny is he's just like, "Am I done? Can I go to my horses?
Yeah,
I would like to go home to horses." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Matt Thomas says, "I do what I love, and your reactions to it are gold." There you go. Thank you, Matt. He's talking to you about that. Armada says, "Billy Mays as Ken Knapsack or vice versa in a movie." I think Billy Mays is dead. I thought Billy Mays died.
Billy Mays as Knapsack. Or vice versa in a movie. I think Ken Knapsack as Billy Mays.
Yeah, Billy Mays passed away in 2009, so we can't have that.
Well,
but maybe
the hypothetical. Stop it.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe Ken Knapsack can play Billy Mays in a biopic. I'm down with that.
I'm down with that.
Yeah. Nerds Engaged says, "Thanks, guys, for covering the week and hosting the show. Happy New Year." Thank you, Nerds. Thank you, Nerds.
Of course, man. Happy to be here.
Absolutely. Paul Marquez there. Thank you very much, Paul. We're at 38 super chats, man. I was hoping we'd get a little bit more. Guys, if you're hesitating, maybe on the fence, start send in some ones before we wrap up here because we're close to wrapping up the show. If we don't have any more super chats coming through, we'd love to answer your questions, thoughts, and comments and get us up there. Nerds Engaged says, Fantastic Four or Superman hot take? Oh, Winston, what's your hot take for Fantastic Four or Superman?
That people are going to like the female Silver Surfer more than Norrin Rand, and all this complaining and bitching that happened. Ooh. I can't believe you're doing this. They're gonna go, man, maybe I should just shut. No one is actually gonna say I was wrong here, but they're just gonna shut the F up. That's my hot take.
My hot take is that Nicholas Hoult will be the standout of the Superman movie.
Oh, I don't think that's a hot take. I think that's cold brew because
really?
I think we all know that. Just that the main thing that I saw in commentary about the trailer reaction was I don't know why, but this is Holt's movie. That is the majority of the people that I saw. Like so many people said that. But I'll give it to you. I agree. I agree.
Okay, we'll see. All right, let's move on. Michael Miles, Super Bowl postponed. New date set. Thoughts? What?
Huh?
Where are you getting that?
When did that happen?
You mean the Sugar Bowl was postponed, not the Super Bowl. The Sugar Bowl because of the unfortunate, terrible tragedy last night. I don't know if you guys know, but
what happened?
Last night, a man drove his car into a set of revelers, killing 10 people at 3:15 in the morning in New Orleans. And the police came out saying they thought it was a terrorist attack. The FBI came out and said it wasn't a terrorist attack. Yeah, there you go. And so the Sugar Bowl has been postponed 24 hours following the terror attack. And they said in the response to the press conference that he was intending to kill people. So that is the unfortunate situation there. And the guy died in a firefight with the police after shooting 2 of the police officers who were chasing him down and putting them both in the hospital. So, yeah, very terrible way to start a new year. And, I mean, just horrible stuff. But I appreciate them delaying the game for 24 hours possibly or longer because they want to make sure security is tight and don't want to have their young men who are going to be on the field possibly subject to any kind of violence or what have you, as well as the people attending the game as well, of course. So, yeah, just a shame there. Simon Section says, sequel I would most like to see is the Shawshank Redemption. Andrew Druffen teaches Red how to play chess on the beach while Morgan Freeman narrates. I don't get any of those references. Obviously, I get Shawshank Redemption, but I don't get it. Do you get any of those?
I don't know, man. I got nothing.
Paul Marquez says, where do you think Ezekiel Elliott will go in the playoffs? Because they let him go, Winston, this morning or yesterday. Ezekiel Elliott was let go by the Cowboys so he could go play for a playoff team.
I would argue nowhere.
Yeah, I don't know who.
What has he done recently that like warrants him to do that? But if we're really gonna throw it out there, then you just have to look at who needs the running back the most. And in that case, it would be Detroit. If you're not sure on when Montgomery's coming back and you just want to make sure you have a change of pace back, like a vet, then Detroit makes the most sense. But I don't see Elliott getting picked up personally. Again, what have you done for me lately? Like, there's nothing that he's provided that you look at and go, yeah, dude, he's still got the sauce. He doesn't.
Right.
And that makes me sad to say.
Here are the two possibilities, Minnesota or Buffalo. That's where I think he could go. Minnesota or Buffalo as like a backup running back that you give the ball to on the 1 yard line or something. So just possible. All right. What do we got here? Julius Wyatt says, John, have you, Kristian and Dan, recorded your best of 2024 video? No, not yet. I don't know when that's going to happen. We were kicking it around as possibly tomorrow, but I think that all depends on internet connection and timing, and with Kristian's stuff going on with at home.
Oh, the three of you doing it together?
Yeah, we've done it the last couple of years. So I think maybe we'll be pushing it to next week, it feels like, but I don't know. That's up to Kristian and Dan figuring things out. My schedule is a bit more flexible than those two, so we will see what that situation is.
Passing the buck. Look at you.
Hey, man, this is Kristian's thing. I'm along for the ride and very honored to be so. Corn Emperor says, had a victim been a billionaire, it'd be a terrorist attack.
Oh, they're talking about the trucks. The truck. Yeah. I mean, because that's the whole thing. We can get a whole conversation about Luigi, man. But the fact that the judge is married to somebody on the board for Pfizer, I believe, and then you had too many people in like the public that that are so upset with the insurance. The insurance agencies, companies, all that kind of stuff, that they were like, oh yeah, we're gonna take the if it's terrorism, then you don't have you have the right, your right to a jury disappears. There's apparently a law that does that. So part of that is so that it can just be the judge doing that, and that's wild to me. So
yeah, crazy situation. Is it bad advertising that Hawk Girl isn't the Hawk to a girl in Superman? Oh my God, not now. Not anymore after that Bitcoin situation.
Well, maybe because if Maxwell Lord is grifting everybody.
Yeah, that's a good point. Good point. Talk to a girl. Oh man, I feel so bad for her. I know she got involved in that Bitcoin stuff, crypto stuff, but I feel bad for her because like she was playing this thing completely right. It was right down the middle with everything. People assumed one thing about her and she wasn't that thing, and she seemed to take to it so quickly, but then got that going for that Bitcoin crypto thing. I wish people who don't know a lot about this stuff stay away from that stuff, because that can blow up in your face so badly. And sadly, it blew up for her. And, she's trying to redeem herself. She does feel bad about the people who lost money with it. But, this is why you got to be smart in these situations. Fame ain't for everybody. All right, let's move on here. Eric Kirby says, with the first round of the college playoffs looking like crap, do you think they will make changes next year? A lot of people complaining about it. Okay, so here's my opinion. I think people complaining about it should shut the F up, because we have seen the best teams go up against the best teams and get blown out numerous times over the last few years, no matter what your system is. How many times have we seen it in the Super Bowl? Well, do I need to bring up the Buffalo Bills performances in a lot of Super Bowls? Like, people get blown out. Do you want to see what happened to the Chargers when they played the 49ers in the Super Bowl? People get blown out all the time because the pressure of playing after some weeks off and the spotlight is on you, it happens. I think the 12 best teams were in there. Alabama got its butt handed to it by Michigan yesterday, and everybody thought Bama should have been one of the 12 teams. How'd that work out? If Duke beats Ole Miss tomorrow, then what do you got to say now there, Lane Kiffin, who've been shooting your mouth off on social media? The 12 best teams got in there. Let it play out. And I think next year, keep the same system, and the best 12 teams are going to get in there. Stop trying to change it, because they've never gotten it right, according to a lot of people, in any year, no matter what the system is. And the more you mess with it, the more you're messing it up. I think now it's good. Let it be. That's my honest opinion. No matter what the results of the games are, these are the 12 best teams. You know? Anything you want to say on that?
Put your hat back on, Rocha. Put your clothes back on. Stop it. The Emperor is naked. Just get out of here. Emperor has no clothes.
I think this is our last one. Haunted_Autumn, one of my favorite people here coming in. He says, I want a scene in Superman where a bunch of people show up to meet Hawk-Girl, but it's Hawk-Girl and they are pissed. LOL, Happy New Year. Oh, that'd be funny. Hawk-Girl, came to see Hawk-Girl, but it's Hawk-Girl. That would be pretty damn funny.
That would be really, really funny. Right before she hits Luthor with the mace, you got a Hawk too, spit on that thing.
Anybody seen Superman? J_Mobile says, I'd love a Skarsgård Joker, but with Keoghan's Joker already acknowledged, I think WB would cause big confusion with all these different universe versions of DC characters. No, he has not been acknowledged. It was a deleted scene. You didn't even see his face in the original film.
You just heard his voice.
You just heard his voice, so it could be anybody. And I don't know that Keoghan has officially been confirmed as the Joker in Gunn's DC universe. So I think there is much more room to maneuver, shall we say?
Well, what do you think? Bill could go be the Joker for Gunn, and Keoghan can be the Joker for Reeves.
For Matt Reeves. Yeah, that's a great point. Yes. Don Ronaldo McWhiskey says, Hawk to everyone and good night. There you go. I think that's a good one to end on.
Hawk to it.
The police have themselves an RV. Thank you all so much for joining us. Oh, I get to a 1. We got to give Winston a shout out. Thanks to everyone for joining us. Winston A. Marshall, please let people know where they can find you and what you got going on your channel, brother.
Find me here on YouTube at the Swaggy Blurred, man. Oh boy, we're kicking the year off with my best of 24. So that is what's going to be coming out. I want to say, because I need to go lie down, it's probably coming out Friday. Let's call it Friday and be generous to my brain since it hurts. But then other than that, once the new computer is here, I am so excited to kick off my new slate of stuff, and I will be making those announcements. I think I'm supposed to get it on Sunday, so probably sometime mid next week. If it comes a little bit later, then it might be a little bit after that. But either way, thank you so much for all the support in 2024. I want to keep growing in 2025, and I got a lot of great stuff coming for you.
Oh, respect, man. Thank you so much. Wednesday, it was fun doing the show with you, brother. Have a good rest of your New Year day, my man, and give my best to your lady there who was saying it's probably still in her Catwoman outfit, waking up on the bed. So respect to you, brother. As for me, you can find me at The Rocha Says on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, The Outlaw Nation on Twitch. And Corn Emperor wants to know, when's the next Spill the Tequila? Well, maybe Friday. Depends on Winston and I's schedule. We can see what we got squared away. I don't know if there's a lot to talk about necessarily, but maybe we will do something on Friday.
You got 3 of them this week.
That's right. You kind of did.
You got 3.
Yeah. Much to the vitamin dealer's chagrin over there in the comments there. You got 3 episodes of Spill the Tequila from us basically in the last 3 days. So Don Ronaldo McWhiskey says 40 and Hot says 41. There you go. Thank you guys. Much love to everybody. I appreciate it. And as for me, you can follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, my YouTube channel, youtube.com/John Rocha Says, the Outlaw Nation channel there. We're probably going to have a review for Skeleton Crew later on today after I do a reaction to it. And then, of course, Geek Buddies will have our main show later on this week. We're probably going to review Squid Game Season 2 on the main show because all of us are watching it right now. So look for that, as well as a Hot Mic, which is probably happening tomorrow. Jeff and I got to lock that down, so we'll see. And Corn Emperor says never enough. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the Kristian Harloff channel right here. Don't forget about the memberships that they have. Don't forget about the Patreon that Kristian has as well. Of course, follow Kristian on social media as well for all the stuff he's doing. And don't forget about the new interviews he's got with Sean Gunn. That is up there now. Watch the clips, him talking about his approach to Maxwell Lord, talking about working with his brother. All that stuff is there for you all to look at. And of course, all the other interviews that Kristian has done on the channel as well. Go and familiarize yourself with those. All right, so Happy New Year, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today on a holiday. We love you madly. Be well, And we got one more. You guys are doing a hell of a job. The show's in good hands.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks. Appreciate that. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Freaking Millionaire. Tell Vitamin Dealer that. All right, I'll talk to you next time. We'll talk to you next time with another brand new episode of the Kristian Harloff Show. Take care. We love you.